Welcome to the Manufacturing Masters Podcast with your host, Allison DeFord.
Hello. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Yep, it's just crazy me. I am going to be your special guest today. I'm going to interview myself, and we're going to talk about something you may have never thought of that could greatly improve your business, make sales easier, and it's one of the fastest ways to create loyalty and a community of raving fans. So sit back, relax, and spend the next 30 minutes with me and get out a pen and paper because I'm going to challenge you. I want you to understand something. Competency doesn't create conversations. Competency, the thing you've been relying on for a really long time, isn't creating the conversations that you're hoping for, isn't making you talk worthy. So what the heck do you do instead? Well, stay with me. I'm going to share all that here in just a minute and help you change the way that you invite customers into your business and help you create something that is talk worthy. Everybody, here we grow. Today is a special episode of the Manufacturing Masters Podcast with one of our very own marketing specialists. Me. I'm flying solo today and recently did a podcast interview about a topic that was so popular, I had to bring it to our Manufacturing Masters community. I know you're going to love this topic because there are going to be so many takeaways from just this one episode that you can go add into your business starting tomorrow. What is it you want to know? You're going to have to wait just a second. I want to ask you a question. Think about your favorite hotel experience or restaurant experience. Why do I bring this up and what does it have to do with manufacturing? I like to take things from the B2C world and bring them into the manufacturing B2B world. I think there's a lot to be gained there. I'm not the only person talking about this for sure. And I want to use these examples today to get you thinking in a new way. So let's take, for example, the steakhouse. It's in LA. It's at the top of this really tall building, and they have incredible steaks. They have an incredible 360-degree view. But is that what they're known for? Is that what customers talk about? Well, with this particular restaurant, yeah, people talk about those things. But what's really memorable is the experience of when they serve your steak. They bring out a box, a special box with a selection of knives from all over the world. And you get to choose the knife you use to cut into your steak. And in my recent conversation with our other resident expert, 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗰𝘆, she said, it almost makes the steak taste better, doesn't it? So, it might be the placebo effect, but that's what people talk about because no other restaurant is doing it. Another example, the pet-friendly hotel. Now, this is not a lavish luxury hotel. This is, I think it was a DoubleTree by Hilton. And they're the pet-friendly hotel that when you check in, there is a special goodie bag waiting for you with your dog's name on it. There are treats and bones and pet-friendly recommendations in the area. Should you need a vet while you're here? Should you need a play group? Any kind of helpful information. What a sweet surprise, especially if you are a dog person. This is very meaningful to you. No other hotel has ever done that. And what about the restaurant that you can go to? I do believe it is in Missouri or Minnesota. And somebody's going to watch or listen to this, and you're going to DM me and let me know for sure. But they're not just known for their really delicious food. They're known for the fact that you'll probably get a fresh, hot-baked roll thrown at you while you're sitting there dining. It's their claim to fame. It's what people talk about. So what does any of this have to do with marketing for manufacturers? These things are talk triggers. You know, too many manufacturers are relying on the way they've always done it, you know, the way you've always marketed, your competency, your quality, your high tolerances. I want you to ask yourself, are people talking about it? Is it exciting? Is it memorable? Is it unique? Or is it kind of like everybody else? Truly. That's the thing I want to talk about today is, and I got this from author, speaker, and content king. I can't talk today. Content king, Jay Baer. He suggests that competency doesn't create conversations. I'm going to say that again because I want to let it sink in. Competency doesn't create conversations. And we're all thinking, well, crap, that's what we've always relied on, right? Our features and our benefits and those things that we think are exciting, but they're not very meaningful to our customers above and beyond. Of course, they expect you to have high tolerances. Of course, they expect you to have precision engineering and design capabilities and on-time delivery. It's expected, right? It's the price of doing business today. Your competency is important, but is it creating conversations? Is it memorable? Is it what you're known for? Probably not. So I want to strike up this conversation with you today to empower you to change up the game, to dig deep and think about what is something that we could be known for, right? What is something we could do that's above and beyond? I think that's the thing is so many of us are so busy concentrating on the day-to-day and the putting out fires and the forecasting and the supply chain issues and the shortage of staff. And granted, those are all viable things to take up our time. But I want to encourage you to take a little time, and you don't have to do this on your own, right? You can hire an outside consultant, or maybe it's a very experienced freelancer or just a small agency. If you're a small manufacturer, plenty of people out there that are affordable, but really valuable that can help you because you probably don't have time to think of this stuff. The thing I'm going to tell you is it's probably right under your nose and you can't even see it. Think about, for example, if you had a talk trigger, and that's what Jay Baer calls them. He has a great book also, if you haven't read it, called Talk Triggers. What is a talk trigger that would be surprising? That would be something people don't expect? I'll give you an example of a millwork manufacturer. They, I hear this a lot. Well, what we sell, what we do, it's not sexy, right? What are we going to create that's going to get people excited, that's above and beyond? And I'm here to tell you it's not a koozie or a pen or a pad of paper at that next trade show. There's nothing wrong with those things, but they've become ubiquitous. And I want to help you stand out because you should. There is only one you. There's only Your company doesn't exist anyplace else. Your team of unique craftspeople. I've met many of you, and I'm here to tell you, your business is special. Your customers are special. There is something really surprising and delightful about you and your brand that you're not sharing with anybody. And it doesn't have to be something crazy or silly, but back to the millwork manufacturer, they decided to try something where, again, you're like, these are loads of lumber, right? What can we do to stand out? Well, they've done a number of things, one of which was put a t-shirt inside every load. And you're thinking, oh my God, how many loads do they send out a year? That's not the point. The point is to put a t-shirt that was $4, right? Because you can order in volume. Why do this? Because the guys in the yard, gals in the yard, would scramble and want to unload these particular pallets and have the shirt. And on the shirt, it said, call Kurt for a shirt. Kurt is an actual person that works in their company. He's been there for years. And it's just become a thing that they're known for to, hey, call Kurt and ask for a shirt. Well, guess what happens when people call Kurt? Owners call Kurt. Buyers call Kurt. Kurt strikes up a conversation with you. Kurt ends up selling product for the business because of this give, because of a simple gesture, a surprise, because of a conversation starter. And, you know, some of the other unique things that this particular manufacturer has done is they always put the customer front and center. So if they send a box of hats, it doesn't have their logo necessarily on the front. It probably has your logo. And then their logo is over on the side. And there's a message that connects you with them. And you think, but I'm supposed to be advertising my business. Oh, you are. You are, my friend, but you're putting the customer front and center. So would they rather wear something with their logo on the front or yours? Probably theirs. So another simple thing that I'll give you an example that we've done at my company is we put this little sticker on the back of envelopes. So when people get real mail from us, the sticker says, "You smell like accomplishment." I cannot tell you how many people have emailed me, called me, mentioned it in social media or on a podcast, whatever. It was memorable because it was surprising. It was funny. It's human. And I'm leading with them. So on this recent interview that I did, we were talking about, you know, what are some of the ways that you can create a talk trigger? Gosh, I'll give you another example of a B2C. This is a restaurant in Austin, Texas, just a little taco place. They have hundreds of thousands of followers because of their talk trigger. And it's simply their sign out front. They put a hilarious message on this sign every single day. They snap a picture of it. They put it on social media. It has become their thing. I only know about this restaurant because of Instagram. Guess where I'm probably going to visit when I go to Austin next time? I'm definitely going to this restaurant. They then took the messages, everyday pictures, and created a coffee table book. Then they created a deck of inspirational cards that they sell. These messages show up on t-shirts that they sell. These messages have shown up on an inflatable pool blow up thing that they offer on their website. They've created a calendar. My point in telling you this is, as a manufacturer, you have an opportunity to create a talk trigger. I'll give you a relevant example in manufacturing. That would be Jim Carr of Car Machine and Manufacturing. They're in Illinois, and used to be one of the co-hosts of Making Chips. Might be another podcast that you want to check out. It's really good. And one of the things that Carr is known for is their packaging. He says, we are the Nordstrom, right, which is a high-end retailer out here on the West Coast. They're the Nordstrom of manufacturing, and it's a first-class experience, all the way down to how they package the parts that they machine. When you receive them, it almost feels like you're getting a gift. There has been so much care and attention to detail and thought. I want you to remember that word, thought, into the packaging of this probably very expensive custom machined part. So think of it like the finishing off, right? The pièce de résistance, the surprising little finishing touch that somebody isn't expecting. These are the things that people talk about. And because who doesn't want your customer to become a loyal brand ambassador? Who doesn't want your team, your employees, to become brand ambassadors? Anything that you can do to give your team a leg up, give them an advantage, right? And part of that is creating a culture. I'll give you another example, a recent example of a small manufacturer that I have the opportunity to work with in Aurora, Nebraska. And we rebranded the company, renamed them because they had grown out of their name that was created 50 years ago. And their name is Aurora Boardworks. You might want to listen to a past episode that I had on this podcast with Gary Bales from Aurora Boardworks. We talk about rebranding and the fears behind it. How do you know when it's time to do it? What are the steps you follow? And then how do you launch it to the world and not confuse people, right? Keep current customers happy and understanding what's going on and inviting new customers to the party. And one of the fun things that we did with their name, so one of their talk triggers is, because they are Aurora Boardworks, right? Starts with an A. He has an incredible team working there. They're not just any team. I said, Gary, when you work with people, they get the A team. And it was like, yes, but isn't that going to be copyright infringement? And I said, no, we're not selling merch. We're not using it, right? You guys, maybe you listening or watching, remember the old TV show, The A-Team. There's been a movie made from it. It's actually really funny. But the idea here is just the message, right? The support, the setting apart his team as elevated. This is an elevated experience. So when you work with them, you don't just get a quality team. You don't just get competence. You don't just get craftspeople. You're working with the A team. You're working with the best. So it says something about your commitment to your audience and the level of service that they can expect. And I wanted to leave you with one more example before we sign off today. And this final example that I want to give you touches on trade show experience. I still think trade shows are a viable marketing touch point. And I think the thing where I see manufacturers leaving money on the table is spending the money to go to the trade show, but you don't give your salespeople who are going to be there talking with people, you don't give people a reason to come to your booth in the first place. So stop wasting the money and giving your salespeople koozies and pins and a trifold brochure and a basic display and leaving the rest up to them to work some magic to draw people in. I want to encourage you to think beyond, right? Look at what your competitors are doing. Look at what the people across the aisle are doing. I think a lot of people that I've seen are doing a lot of the same things. So I'll give you a quick example of back with 𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗃 BoardWorks. One of the things that we're going to experiment with as a talk trigger at trade shows is putting people in a drawing for Omaha steaks. A nod to the state or the region where these folks are. It's not something that everybody knows about. It's fantastically delicious and melts in your mouth. And who doesn't want to receive this big box on dry ice filled with deliciousness simply because you spent some time at their booth, had a conversation with their sales guys, and, you know, it's a talk trigger. It's something to look forward to, and it's different. I guarantee you no one else at the trade show is going to be raffling off this particular thing because it doesn't coincide with their brand or their experience. So get thoughtful and do something that people don't expect. I guarantee you it is the fastest way to create a community, to grow your culture and your community together, to create loyal and an excited fan base, and get people talking about your brand. Because let's face it, anything we can do to make sales easier, why not? Why not do it? So I just want to thank you for spending a little time with me today and encourage you, if you're not already subscribed to the Manufacturing Masters podcast, do that over at Apple, right? Follow us and check out some of the previous episodes. We have pure gold in there with the experts that have spent some time with us, and they all care about you. They truly do. They are on fire for helping manufacturers grow their businesses in a meaningful and sustainable way. And if you care to, leave a testimonial, right? Leave a review. That lets other people know that this is something worth listening to. And if nobody else tells you today, the work that you are doing matters. So keep showing up. We need you. And we need your creativity and your expertise. And we need you to invite people into your story, because there's only one you. Until next time.
If you're not already, subscribe to the Manufacturing Masters podcast on Apple Music or Spotify. And for a deeper dive, head on over to manufacturing-masters.com. It's everything they never taught you in school.